Oh, disappointment yet again from Liverpool in terms of getting beat. Frustrating, anger. Reds, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm joined by a very special guest, Spider LFC as well. He's part of the furniture on the channel anyway. But mate, thank you for jumping on, mate.
No problem, dude. Thanks for having me.
I was
Not
just
been a
saying
good day, though.
Yeah, I was just saying to Spider, it's going to be a negative show, really, because if anyone's sitting on both matches trying to look at the positives, I can't help them really, because there's so many negatives to come out of this game, and it's been more or less the same thing all season on Spider in terms of the same things seem to be reoccurring throughout. And yes, we are 11 games into the Premier League season, mate, but.
It's poor. I'd expected at the start of the season when we were having that, the issues at the start, and then we get better as we went along. But that was the same old from earlier on in the season. It was awful. I'm everybody knows me. I'm always Mr. Positive when it comes to Liverpool and having an upbeat mentality about what's coming next in the game and all of that. But today I can't make up excuses for these guys. I understand. Okay, so let's get the types of excuses that we're going to use out of the way. We have injuries. We get that. We have a lot of injuries. We can cope. That works against teams like Spurs, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, City. Then you're going down to your Brightons, your Wolves that you might have a bad game against, your Newcastles. That's those excuses work against that. We were playing Nottingham Forest, who were getting trounced left, right, and centre all season. Yeah. I know they're at home, but we had a team that's good enough to beat them. We didn't. We were disrespectful of them as a team,
which we spoke about yesterday. The mentality, even the first 5 minutes, mate. Yeah. They also disrespect from our players. I know Jurgen Klopp probably will come out and say in his interview, he'll say, "Oh, our players aren't being disrespectful," but that performance on the pitch, mate, was disrespectful, not just to for us, but to the fans that have travelled all that way to go and see that performance, because it was quite frankly abysmal in every area.
It was awful. The spine was a key in that game as well. Look, Forest, Jurgen and Liverpool have to realise when we play against these teams, let's call a spade a spade. If Forest plays against Man City, if they play against whatever, they don't go in with that defensive unit. They just try and play the football and get on with it. But when every team comes to play against Liverpool, they shut up shop. They stick 10 men in front of the box, and that's what they do. We have to expect that. That's not an excuse again from our part. That's just what happens, and we have to realise that. And the team has to realise that more than we do as fans. And for me, Fabinho had barely any help in the middle of that park. That game was too big for Jones, even though he wasn't ready.
I'm going to go in on Jones because I'm one of Jones's biggest fans. And everyone knows me on the channel. I've always tried to support Jones in every area. Yes, you can talk about him being injured and not really helping, but at the end of the day, mate, I was watching him today, and all of us watching that game, when he was getting the ball and he was passing it 5 yards backwards and sideways, and even when he lost the possession of the ball countless times, it stopped counting really. But even when he did lay off the ball, he was far too static in the central areas or out wide anyway. There was no attacking runs in terms of he offered nothing in that Liverpool midfield. And what Liverpool needed, Spider and Chatham, we've already spoke about this season, in the last couple of years, when Liverpool dropped points or been disappointing in certain games. Your midfield players need to do a lot more. Liverpool, we've seen in the last couple of seasons, we play quite predominantly through our wide areas. And over the last couple of weeks, we've changed formation. We've gone. And I think, obviously, going to a 4-3-3 didn't help again today, mate. I hoped that we would have went a bit more direct. I know, yes, you can talk about Thiago getting an ear infection, not ideal. But even still, as Spider alluded to, those players on the football pitch were a million miles away good enough to really start. Ox, when he come on, typical Ox. I know he didn't have a lot of minutes, but at the end of the day, when you're last chance saloon, when you're throwing, and even the bench today, mate. And it's not excuses by no means. And a lot of credit does have to go to Forest as well, as Spider alluded to, mate. But at the end of the day, Liverpool, that bench has been neglected, would you say, Spider, for the best part of the last 3 to 4 years?
I think so. I'll be honest with you. We can go with the first 14 all we want, if you want to call it that. No problem for the last few years. But now there's more substitutions and more everything, and we haven't capitalised on buying the right players and the right numbers in there. Now there's talks about us going in for, what's his name, Zaha at the end of the season on a free. Compared to that bench today, I'd probably take him just to have it on there. But if it was the Liverpool of Norm, I wouldn't, because he didn't do that United. And you say the same about Salah, but he's not at the same level as Salah. I'm sick of being linked to trash and basic footballers. I'm sick of being dealt the short hand. I've always been pro FSG for what they've done for the club. How they've turned it around. Yeah, they make silly mistakes and all of that, and I don't want to go into a whole tangent on FSG, but for me, if they don't put their hands in their pockets in January and in this next summer, then I'm definitely going to be the other side. I can guarantee it's too long. It's gone on too long. We haven't got enough cover. The quality that's in there, you can only develop so much. Like any other club or any other place, they don't like. You can go on about United with the class of '92, and that they had a lot of players that came out of that, but they didn't come all in at once. They came in over seasons, different players and different things, and you always had an emergent star over 2 or 3 years, or maybe 2 if you're lucky, coming out of an academy. But we can't expect the whole bench to be full of academy players and then say, yeah, that's good enough today.
2 goalkeepers on the bench today, mate. 2
goalkeepers.
Like it's quite frankly embarrassing.
And then you have the best goalkeeper, the best player of our season in goal, and they're the only ones he can replace.
It says a lot when Ali has been our best player for the best part of the last 6 to 8 month period, mate. Yeah. He bailed us out massively getting us Champions League last year. He was literally man of the match the best part of the last 10 games of the season. He was literally save after save after save. Would have lost the derby if it wasn't for Alisson anyway this season. Got your Fred in the green screen as well, mate. Get his thoughts. As I said, chat, the link is in the description. Come on, have your say. And as I said, you have to dip off as well because there might be a couple of people jumping in. Anyway, but got your Fred coming on, mate. Just get your thoughts on, mate. And obviously, I'll get your thoughts on, mate. How you doing, mate?
Not great. Not great. It's not looking good at the moment. As we were sloppy today. Obviously, looking at it now, it's not looking great at all. And I think Salah was very poor today as well. I think it was some stats like 4 passes, something like that, which is quite bad for his standards. And me thinking we would thrash Nottingham Forest 3-0. I think everyone thought that, but. Yeah. Obviously the team news was a bit shaky, I think.
I was going to say, it's a great point that you've made there, mate. Were you quite surprised? I know obviously we alluded to the injury or ear infection to Thiago, mate, but were you surprised that the likes of Curtis Jones did get an opportunity? Would you have liked to see someone else?
Well, the team news it should have been enough to be Nottingham Forest, I think. Let's put it like that. I don't know how Thiago got an ear infection. It's just mad. But obviously Curtis Jones, it was his time to shine. He failed it massively. But then again, can you blame him? He hasn't played for the whole season. He's probably rusty. But still, nonetheless, it's just embarrassing. And the way it's looking, we'll probably get in Conference League. But yeah,
spot on, mate. As you've alluded to, mate, what was probably one of the most disappointing aspects for you today, mate? For me personally, I don't know how you felt, was probably the attitude, the way Liverpool, not just today, mate, but in terms of the last couple of weeks, is the way we've applied ourselves in games. We've been very half bothered in terms of getting, when Liverpool are getting, Liverpool don't have a bad game, and it's when we're losing the second, third, fourth, fifth ball, and it's always gone to an opposition player.
But like I said, I said this. My hand is on this. Probably the worst performance this season, because there was no when we were 1-0 down, there was still no effort shown, and as FSG should have back Klopp this summer. It's not looking good, and I still think we can get top 4 somehow. I don't know how. I still think we can turn this round, but embarrassingly, that team should have been Nottingham Forest, even if it was 1-0 or something. Now it just feels like West Ham game, that City game was a waste because it just we beat Man City. That was the start of our season. We beat West Ham. Everyone thought we were back. I especially did. But
We all did, yeah.
Yeah, but there was if I word it like this, if I look at the West Ham game, we didn't really look great the second half, but we still got the win. But when we went 1-0 down, I thought we could have won that game still, just because. But like you said, the bench wasn't great either. Who can we bring on? Who else there? But I think this game, if Darwin started, he would have got a hat trick. I think Virgil should have scored as well. He had 3.
Could have had an hat trick today, mate. Like the chances he had, 100%, mate.
Yeah.
What do you want? Yeah, spot on, mate. What do you want to see at the final point, mate? Really, anything that you really want to see going into the next game? You want to see any changes, or what's your thoughts on going into the next game?
I think start Darwin on Wednesday or Tuesday. Is it Wednesday? I think start Darwin on Wednesday. Start. You could possibly. Who else do you have? I mean, you could. Elliot has to stay on. Who else do we have?
Hopefully, Thiago will be back from his ear infection anyway.
It's just an ear infection. I think he should be back. Hopefully, he can come back. But I don't care about the Champions League now. Just at the moment, I want the Prem games just back on for us. Yeah. So we've got Leeds next. So hopefully, we can win that. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, but thank you very much, Reg. Really do appreciate your support as always, mate. It's always a pleasure to get you on, mate, and definitely get you on soon, mate. We've got
just one quick point. Yeah, can I just stay on?
Sorry, mate. We've got a couple of people that want to come on as well, mate. Okay. But apologies. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Yeah. As I said, we got as you said, the game on Wednesday night. Definitely get you on, mate. But appreciate you taking the time out to come on, mate. Hopefully the Reds will be back to winning ways. Yeah. But big up, mate. Yeah. Appreciate you dropping in, mate. Thank you. Well, yeah, big up for you, Reg. Yeah, he made some excellent points there. Denny Spider in terms of it's the thing. It's the attention to detail, really, Liverpool's really been lacking. And we'll get to a couple of chat comments as well.
He's a kid and he can spot these issues. So why aren't the big boys spotting it? You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the point there. Look, at the same time, by the way, City are going on the up and Everton are going on the up.
Oh.
And
Haaland. Yeah.
Haaland, yeah. But it could be a foul on the defender, we'll see. Look, I don't understand how we didn't foresee this. Now, in saying one thing, when we got our players back in the last few weeks, we started playing better. You know, we were winning game after game in the last couple of weeks there now again. And then all of a sudden we lose our players again and we're starting to lose games. Look, I know they go hand in hand, but that team, as the young lad said there, is more than capable of beating Nottingham Forest. You know, away, at home, and a neutral ground. It doesn't matter where it is. That Liverpool side should be beating them, and that's the excuse that you should only have today, is that we should have won, and that's it. With regards what we're going to do going forward, I don't know. I mean, can I see us getting top four? Yes, very easily. I do. I don't care what kind of way we're playing at the moment. I think we can just go on and this team can go on and win 5-15.
What's the thing? So the teams in and around us, though, mate, as well. It's all right. Us trying to be as positive as possibly can. Yeah. But you look at the other teams, mate. I look at Chelsea, United, the way they've grinded out a couple of results this season, and we joke about them, mate. But they keep on playing the teams above us, even Tottenham.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Like Spurs are probably one that's going to miss out the way they're playing going on, as well as ourselves. But I'm just saying that if Liverpool can get it going, and it's the only positive they're going to have in this post, if they can get it going and get the right players back, then we are capable of going from 12 to 15 games in a row and not losing, right, and just winning. And that'll shore up that kind of scenario. But at the moment, the squad is not good enough. It's not there. Yeah. It's not there. It's not good enough, and it needs to be sorted fast. And I don't mean wait till the summer, do a rebuild. Yeah. We're going to have to put our hands on it. Like, we don't buy in January. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to go
the season could be over there, mate, though. Yeah. It's the fact that we all said it was every single Liverpool fan around the bloody world went. Yeah. We lost to Origi. This was a perfect game for Origi, as we've seen over the last couple of years. Yes, he went to Milan. His contract ran out. Minamino didn't get a lot of games, but as you said, mate, this why are we wasting the best part of 11, 12, 13 games into the Premier League season? Yeah, we might bring in 1 or 2 players in January, mate, and we need to. We all know that. But at the end of the day, it's absolute disgrace the way Liverpool's handling of quite a lot of things in terms of transfers, contracts, most importantly. But we've been far too lackadaisical. And Klopp's got to take the blame, the owners, all those fans, and the fact that Jurgen Klopp reacted in the way in which he did about fans just expressing their opinions, just saying that Liverpool did need to bring in 1 or 2 players, and him the following week going, "Oh, I'm not in charge of transfers," and all that, and then the owners flying in when the window was open. What was the point in them? Was that a show of power, do you reckon, Spider? I don't know. And the thing, as we said, you said it's up a show. These aren't excuses. We're just saying what we all foresee. And they probably the large majority foreseeing this happening, because we all said at the beginning of the season, Spider, if we get a couple of injuries, we are absolutely goosed.
Yeah, well, alluding to that, and this is where you have to go. But what I say is the difference between. All right, lads, I'll be quite honest. I am not a transfer buzz person. When I see it happening, everybody is on Twitter talking the biggest load of BS ever about this. You've got your ITKs that know nothing, and then they're all posting every week with thousands of people answering them, right? But what you do see from one side is the enthusiasm from fans. You see it from Irish, Norwegian, British. You see it from African, Middle Eastern, and you see the enthusiasm that you want to see from them in fans. But what you see on the other side is, I just put it down to the state of the difference between Americans and us over here, is how they treat the football and how they
They don't understand football, mate. Like,
they don't
and the fact that they went into the Super League with no, like, that in itself, the fact that they dragged the football club into that competition. Yes, they can employ as many football and people. The fact that they didn't ask Kenny Dalglish, one of the most iconic players. You only have to say, Spider, "Oh, Kenny, is this a good idea?" Someone in the FSG's offices, no, it isn't. No. Don't you dare to go along with that. But as he said there, mate, it's been point. Us fans, as he said, we love transfers, but these players need help. These players need yes, you can talk about a massive kick up the backside, but if you're in a working environment, sometimes you just need a bit of a boost. You do.
You do, and you need to kick up the arse. But the whole point of getting to that is that the differences between the owners that have come in now for the likes, let's say, or FSG are down, let's say the likes of Chelsea have got these owners in, which are Man Bowley. Then you have Man City that's after coming in and taking over City and Newcastle, and all you see is positivity. And when people say, "Oh, now they're going to be money bags, they're just going to buy the league," well,
you need money.
It's no fun for them. They're enjoying it. Whereas we're sitting there and we're defending FSG for the last few years, and we're talking about how much we've got net spend this and net spend that, but then there's hardly any fun. There's a lot of back steps in between these periods of time, and it has to stop. So if the big teams are going to be getting into these owners and whatnot, and all this money is going to fund in, then bring the entire league up and get all of these owners in that can bring up the money levels, and just let everybody have it. So my point is, if they're not going to back the team, and it's just a tie to them, or they just want to, I don't know if it's a tax situation from, I don't know what it is from, to fund their other
they're just thinking about money. They're thinking about the football club like a business. And I get it is one of the biggest, makes millions, and that's why they don't invest money into the club. They're not asked. They've got one of probably the best managers in world football in terms of penny pinching, in terms of spending 8 million here and there, and they'll do a good job. We're very fortunate that we are in a period now that we've got one of the best managers in our history, mate, aren't we? That we've got Jurgen Klopp at the helm, because Christ almighty, if we had Brendan Rodgers in charge of this now, we'd literally be sat bottom in the Premier League. Or Ryan's in any way. We have
to be happy. Like, what you have to look at now as well is the likes of Alisson, who's been our outstanding player most of the last season or two. And if he sees that around,
eventually he's going to be getting tired.
From saving us, and I don't want it to get to that. I want to see I want to see ruthlessness that you've seen from Klopp when he first came in. Got rid of the Sackos, got rid of everybody like this straight away, and brought in the players that he wanted to do. And it's great that Klopp can take players and turn them into world class, but they all turned world class, and all of a sudden they're all injured at the same time, and then we've got no world class to come off the bench. That's what you got to answer to yourself. You need first tier and second tier world class, and second tier needs to be able to step up to world class when they're called upon to come onto this team.
But
you know,
yeah, that's the thing, mate. Though, and chatting every red round the world, we're gonna be having this same talk on Boyd every single week when Liverpool lose a game or drop points. It's the owners.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Reds, we can't do nothing. We're 11 games into the Premier League season. We've got a long way to go before January. A long way. And even when it does get to January, we'll have to listen to the press and everyone go, oh, Liverpool are going for him and that. And then it comes to like 2 days before the January and go, oh, who've Liverpool brought in? Absolutely no one. And it's going to be same again. Oh, be grateful for what you've got and everything. But we are grateful for Jurgen Klopp. But every single Liverpool fan around the world, Spider, and we love him to bits. But we're penny pinching. Yes, we spent money. But at the end of the day, Newcastle, give it 5, even less than 5 years. Tottenham, great new stadium. Conte, world-class manager. He knows he's won a Premier League title. He knows what it means to get a league title in the Premier League. Man United will always have money. They'll always have the potential best manager in world football because it's Man United. City, going nowhere. Won 5 out of the last 6 Premier Leagues. It's something crazy anyway after back of this season, mate. But we'll get to everyone's comments as well.
They have to respect Klopp. They have to.
Yeah, they have to. But the way they're acting, mate, they don't in terms of the owners. Rotten to the core, Elliot, Carvalho are not ready for this level and should have not been exposed to this. Midfield and forwards were useless. Curtis needs to be. Yeah, I'm done with Curtis, mate. We can't be carrying players when we're potentially going.
I have to disagree with the Elliot and Carvalho because they've been great for us this season.
Carvalho. Elliot's been fantastic.
They haven't had the service today from the midfield, and that was where the problem was. Fabinho can't defend the entire pitch and play the football at the same time, and Curtis wasn't helping him enough. He was just doing a lot of just twisting and turning on the spot, like I've said for months. I said when Curtis Jones comes into the side, he needed to kick up the arse and he needed to be let loose as he used to be when he first came in, but he's just not developed enough for me. And he needs to be. Klopp has to stop relying on these guys now, this type of player, and bring in top quality. And I mean, for every position in that midfield, he needs at least 3 more midfielders in there. And Keita, Ox, Jones will probably learn from them, but at least Keita and Ox are going to be moved on anyway. You know,
well, you'd hope not. Well, you'd hope. You'd hope. Or it'd just be Liverpool to give him contracts, wouldn't it? But I'd agree with them, Maverick. Yeah, it's the fact. He can celebrate like that, and fair enough, it was a good goal against City. But how many times did it take for Salah to put that ball in the back of the net? You can celebrate like that, and you get that performance, but then. Even the West Ham second half, I was in the ground and you all watched as well, even if you went to game. Another night, West Ham should have really come away from Anfield with a point back end of that. If it wasn't for the James Milner last-ditch tackle, that would have been a draw and another drop of 2 points as well. And Gary, I am, if it continues, this lack of investment, you all watch me. I done a good video couple of years ago when we won the Champions League, we needed investment in the squad, and we went out and got Alisson, went out and got Van Dijk as well, and what Lord behold, we won the Premier League, and it done the business. But it's the thing, it's this naivety from large portions of Liverpool in terms of just having this. We're too relaxed. Would you say, Spider? It's like it took us a good couple of years for Jurgen Klopp to climb the mountain, and then we just fell back down so many steps. Yeah,
it's this is why I'm worried about Klopp getting enough, or doubting his position in the team. I don't want any of these. I don't want Alisson doubting or looking elsewhere, or his eyes, drifting, whatever like that, and mindset drifting, because. It is at a point, we are at this point again where it is a Van Dijk type Alisson situation where we do need to reinvest and bring in to cover off these positions. I think that Fabinho needs a person as good as himself to come in and play alongside in the middle of the park. I wouldn't say no to Paredes. I wouldn't say no to Casados. I wouldn't say no to any of these kind of players to come in because they want to play, and they'll play their hearts out on it and not. What I see is a lot of doubt in that midfield today. What I see is a lot of second guessing and actually fifth guessing if you want to go to Curtis Jones positions. Yates was fantastic. I would have taken Yates over anybody in our team. Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of applauders there, mate. He's 6'3", 6'4". He's absolutely battered us today, mate.
Yeah.
And he's been one of the brightest sparks for me, mate. And
he's been unbelievable.
He looked like a Liverpool player to me, mate.
Yeah.
A very Liverpool player, and that's something that Liverpool lack, mate. 100%.
Yeah.
But big up Mitch there, lads. As I said, long time no see, mate. Most importantly, hope you are well, fella. Lads, I don't know what to think anymore about this team. Feel like it's come to an end as well. Think more or less what me and Spider are saying here, mate. Unless there's a massive shake-up in January, but I think there will be a lot of.
To be slightly positive, I think the injuries are playing a big part, and I don't want to make that as an excuse because that team was good enough to beat Forest today. If it was any other team on the pitch that was up around the middle or the top, then I'd say, yeah, look, our injuries have caught us. That's it. That's the way we go. But we were playing Nottingham Forest today, and that team should have beaten that Nottingham Forest side today. And that's the point we're making about today. It's not like that it's the end of the team because Nunes is injured. Thiago was out today. Luis Diaz is injured. Who else are we missing?
But even
he's been good for us the last couple of seasons.
Spot on there, mate. But even when we have had these players fit this season, mate, we've seen that performance.
Yeah.
We've seen it. It's.
And I was putting it down to the hangover from last season, but we're 11 games in now. It's time to.
You think something would kick into gear?
I think something would be happening there, but it hasn't. And yet again, niggly injuries are coming in and setting us back a bit. Look, we won't know what's going to happen until these boys come back, until they're playing fully. We have 7 games left, is it? Right up until the end of the season.
I think so. Yeah. Before.
Don't say like a new signing. You.
No, me and that. Yeah. It's a new signing, boys and girls. Yeah, there we go. Me and you were saying the Mickey went me last night with Connor in terms of. You said that north. There you go. But Gary said, we need 7 world-class midfielders, Gary, don't we? But at the end of the day, we've only probably got 2 world-class midfielders when they're on the game. Fabinho, when he's on his game, one of the best DMs in world football, but at the minute he's playing like a League 2 player. And Thiago Alcantara. Are you quite concerned by in chat how when Thiago doesn't play? Not that we're all surprised because we know Thiago's quality. No one really compares to Thiago the same as on the ball, but it can't be so reliant on one player in the system.
You can't, and this is why there is going to be a need for spend. We haven't spent too much over the last couple of seasons on individually on players. Besides, we needed a Van Dijk when we got him. We needed an Alisson. We spent world records at the time on these guys, but it's come around to that again. We've always averaged at about 40 or 50 million for a player, but that was the average price. You have to realize everybody's turned around and said in the last few seasons, you've spent 50 million on a player. I mean, that's a lot of money. It was a lot of money before the TV rights deals came in. So, like, Pogba was a lot of money at 93 million pounds or whatever he was before the TV rights money came in. That's the equivalent of about 160 million euro now. You know what I mean? So, in the TV rights money or whatever you want to calculate that. But no, man, we need to be going. We need to be spending the 60s to the 80 millions on top quality players that are out there at the moment. We do, and we're going to need them almost in the same window, or at least over the 2 windows. Because some teams might want to sell in January, especially the type of players that we want. And I know that Klopp alludes to that all the time to say, like, we might want these players, but we mightn't get them. And that's the problem. It's just a matter of, are we going to overpay for them and then get them in, and then they mightn't change their season? Or are we going to wait till the summer? But it's
so important. They've got it, as you said there, mate. They've got to be the right players, though. Even if we are spending 70, 80 million, it's almost like if we do go into that scenario, we're very fortunate, aren't we, mate, in terms of the recruitment from Liverpool has been absolutely spot on. But
it has been good.
We don't want to be rushing. Even though we are desperate, but we don't want to be rushing and whacking 70, 80 million pound there. But even still, it was a great point you made there, mate, in terms of chat. when Liverpool were winning in the 70s and 80s, Liverpool would constantly always get the best players. We broke so many countless world records in terms of fees for players. And we signed Kenny Dalglish back in the day. He was for the record fee as well. And you can continue going down the many. And even Liverpool at that time, as well in the 80s, Liverpool were winning and we were dominant because we had lots of money, and that's not what I was saying. And that's at the minute.
Success brings you brought in the money in those days, and that's what it was. The only reason you had the money in those days is because of its success. Now there's countries buying teams, and there's a danger of the history of the league being left behind for the flamboyancy of countries owning teams, and that's the point that we're at this crevice where we're just about to go over the edge. So unless these old historic teams also get investment in at the same time to keep up with these new flamboyant teams, you're going to lose the history of the league, and then people are just going to forget in 50 years' time what happened. Then they're not going to care, because it's just going to be money on money, and it's going to be Americanized to death. So, and I don't want to see it going down like that.
Yeah, big up there, mate, as well. Liverpool sadly have lost momentum and have started to regress. We've been beaten by Nico Williams and Taiwo, the LFC rejects. Let that sink in as well. Maverick, spot on, mate. As I said, Liverpool released Taiwo a couple of years ago, let him go to Hertha Berlin, and you could see Spider, couldn't you, by his reaction, how important that was for him, even on the bench at full time. Because that would have hurt him all those years ago, leaving Liverpool. Because I think by all accounts he was a Liverpool fan as well. Liverpool got him at an early age.
And the penalty to Liverpool or to City, by the way.
Oh, is it 2-0? Probably gonna be Haaland as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just look, as Maverick said, beaten by the rejects and all that. It's happened. We felt this in the past. It's happened with Crystal Palace. When Sacco and Benteke were there, and we ended up going down to them. And Klopp's famous words afterwards in this fucking Crystal Palace. Remember when he was saying this in the interview? It's just exactly what Maverick is saying there is what I'm worried about, is the good players that we have in the team being poached before we have a chance to reinvest and do it. Look, we spent money on Darwin Núñez this season. He hasn't had the chance to get going yet. That red card screwed him over at the start of the season. We haven't had the chance to keep a cohesive, uninjured side going. So it's down to us fans to be patient, but it's hard to do that when you see everybody else, when you see other teams progressing around you and catching up. And that's the time. It was grand 2 seasons ago because nobody was still getting anywhere near City except for us. So even when we were coming third, United were still like 18 to 20 points behind City, but the fact that everybody's progressing a bit, and even City are looking a bit complacent and stuff these days, but not as much as the drop-off as we've had over the injuries. And that needs to be sorted fast. We need a squad of world-class players. We don't need just bits and pieces.
That's the difference, mate. And we've got the video printer in the background anyway in terms of City playing Brighton, Liverpool when they're playing Brighton at home, 2-0 down in the first 15, 20 minutes. That's the difference. The mentality in those City players. Brighton rocking up and absolutely getting battered by City. What is it? 43 minutes into the game, and they're getting beat 2-0 by Erling Haaland, 2 goals. So,
and would you believe I've been watching it here on the side? I've been watching it here on the side, and actually Brighton have been the better side, and that's weird. Even though City have gone up and scored two times, but it just goes to show you that they've just got the quality in the pitch to turn those games around. They're happy. You're dead right, Jack.
Yeah, spot on, mate. I know you got to go for food, mate, so we'll wrap up. Been crying out for, 100% there, Brian. As well, making sure you haven't missed anyone's comments. Problems from them. 2-0 marking it. Lost some momentum. Read that one, mate. Thank you for everyone for getting your comments in. Ox, Spilner, Keita, and Jones are all gone next year. Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago all older. I think not a lot of people are noticing as well. Thiago's got a year left on his contract. I done a contracts video a couple of months ago anyway on the channel. We analysed in terms of if you want to check it out, everyone go and check it out on the channel. And we analysed the players that will be leaving. And I tell you what, Thiago's got 2 years left in his contract. And by God, the players you mentioned there, Brian, if we were to, and the way FSG were very reluctant to give Gini Wijnaldum a contract, very reluctant to give Sadio Mane a contract, then I think it could be a case in point that Liverpool probably won't give a big contract to Thiago because he's still quite old, isn't he?
Yeah, and Bobby's kind of into the season as well. He's not even on that list.
I think his contract up as well very soon.
The end of the season, 1 year left.
Yeah, fellas, I'm still fuming. The performance was diabolical, 100% ways. And thank you to every single one. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Absolute legends. I made up Spider come on as well. I needed someone to talk to anyway.
An angry spoiler today. I'm not happy at all. I haven't smiled once, and I refuse to smile even when I'm happy. Like that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm absolutely fuming as well. Both of us, like all of us, we're just fans, aren't we? All of us, and just don't think Ellie and Cavalier were suited. 12 at the time, there's potential, but I can't see how they fit at this point. So harsh but true. It's the thing, though, Maverick. You look at the management of Phil Foden. I'm not comparing the quality because Phil Foden's on another stratosphere in terms of quality. He's world class. He's one of the best of his age. Well, he is probably for me the best player of his age, bracket in world football. But City didn't throw him in straight away. City had a good starting 11, and he brought him in once or twice throughout the season. Obviously, and then once he got that experience, he's playing more games and we're seeing the best Phil Foden now for that. But Liverpool, now we're looking to a point now where we're looking at 18, 19, 20-year-olds and we're telling them, right, our team's not quite frankly good enough. You're going to be getting the opportunities. You don't have to learn your craft in the best league, the best, most physical, most demanding league. We Spider and we're saying, right, there you go. Win Liverpool a game of football, wins the 3 points.
That's the difference right there, because you see the City players are on. Phil Foden came in at a time when City were still on top of their game. And I know they're winning now and all of that, but I just still don't think this is a strong City side compared to 2 or 3 seasons ago. But still he's coming in, and what he's doing is he's topping off a good performance from the fella he's replacing with his own performance and just on a nice pair, learning without too much pressure on him. You can't put pressure on young fellas like this. You can't, not all at the same time. One in there, yes, he's got experienced lads around him to help him, but you can't do that to him at all the time. But to me today, it was a bad choice to put Jones in that midfield. I just think he wasn't right. I don't think he's up to par. I think he slows down the game too much. I think in both formations we play with the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-2-3. I think that those midfielders just need to be anchormen and pivots. They just need to receive the ball and let it loose. Receive the ball and let it loose. He was receiving it, turning. Oh, who's there? No, let's turn again. And the opportunities are gone. Then he's ended up falling over the ball as he's getting tackled by 2 lads. He was no help really to Fabinho inside. I saw Fabinho getting surrounded by 4 lads where they nearly scored a second today, and the ball taken off him far too easily, and Jones was nowhere to be seen to help him at that stage. But even Henderson, when he came on, was nowhere to be seen at that stage. It's just, I think, look, we come to a point where it's a transition between the Hendersons going in and somebody else coming up, but Jones is not quite at that level yet, and we need to bring in somebody now that can do it. If I had my choice out of somebody to replace somebody like Henderson, it'd probably be Declan Rice, even though as an Irishman, I shouldn't be saying that. But you know what I mean? But it's these type of players, or Borrelia or something like that, we need it now, and it needs to be transitioned now.
Yeah, and that's the key word, mate. And Jan, I think as much as we hate that word, Spider's spot on and seems it is a transitional year. I think we're going to have to, which is frustrating because we wanted to be up there, especially off the back of the last 4 years. But I think the harsh reality, the more these games keep on ticking off and Liverpool dropping points, it's going to be a drastic, and as we've already alluded to, top of the show chat as well, it could be a drastic, it could have a massive impact in terms of transfer fee for the next January or onwards until obviously the season after as well. Attracting players, if you've not got Champions League football, we've seen how difficult it was for Liverpool before getting into the Champions League all those years ago. That's why we knew it was so important. I was at home for the last game of the season against Middlesbrough, and we needed to win that game. And we did. Yeah, to Gino Wijnaldum goal as well. So, and that was the start of something new. Start of going back into the Champions League. Obviously, I had to qualify as well. But yeah, it is a transitional season this season, which is a shame. But
I still think a trophy this season, and it'll be, if it's a transitional year with trophy. I don't think the fans can be too upset with that at the end when it comes to the end of the season. We're upset now because we're not keeping pace, and I get that. But now when people are coming to come to terms with the fact that right, we're in a transition, but hopefully we can do something about it in January, bring up our position, get Champions League football, maybe win a trophy. in some sort of way. Try and go as much as we can in the Champions League. Try and push our way into the top 4. Then I think it'll be an okay season by the end of it. But we need to take a trophy from it, and I don't count the Charity Shield because that's not a trophy. That's a friendly.
Yeah.
So, and I mean it in that way. But like there's talks at the moment that us and Chelsea are already knocking on De Jong's door again for the second time to try and pull him away from Barcelona. Because you know me, I don't go with ITKs, but I do listen to Big.
He would massively improve.
He would massively. He would change our second half of the season around immensely. And what like it would probably immediately see us go back to a 4-3-3. With Thiago and Fabinho at the other side. But if Thiago is injured or Fabinho is injured, he can easily play in that 4-2-3-1 as well, apart from the midfield. Look, these are the kind of people that I want to be linked with. These are the kind of people I want to be listening to when we are linked. I don't want to be I don't want people to get too disheartened at the fact that it might be a transitional season. 2 seasons ago, we had the team there, but we had too many injuries. This time, we still have somewhat of a team with injuries again, but there's just not enough to come off the bench to save our season. Yeah. If we need to do something about it in January, big time.
Yeah, it's possible. Get to everyone's comments as well. Keep on getting them in. Kidding ourselves if we think it isn't a sinking ship. Just the way it goes. Let's build on the next team as well. Is Stevie confident he can bounce back? Yeah, of course. I hope so, Brian. A few astute value for money midfield signings over the last 2 seasons. We would not be in this position. It's going to be a roller coaster end of the season, 100% there, mate. It's going to be even the bottom. We had a look at the bottom half of the table. I think it's very tight down there in the bottom, and even the top of the Premier League as well. I'm all for the world-class signings. Well, yeah, it's hard to throw in as well. I'm all for the world-class signings. So why have we ended up with Carvalho and Elliott? They are not world-class. Nice one, lads, as well.
What would be the breaking point?
Yeah, it's the thing, isn't it? I think the breaking point would be, say, if we go 15, 20 points, would you say Spider? Like behind top 4? Like there is going to be a point, like as Gary said there, there's going to be a breaking point of realization where every Liverpool fan goes.
Yeah, I think once you see over that 15 points mark, that's what you're kind of saying. Yeah, that's the kind of end of it, because Liverpool last season were 16 points behind City, but we managed to pull back 15 points to win a point to nearly win the league.
Yeah,
and we're still capable of doing that because we still have the same players, but they need to be fit to do it, and it's very hard to do that when you don't have the cover to come in and do it. So I always say that 15 points is a breaking point. At that kind of over a period of time, and those 15 points have to kind of gradually stay there over 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'm saying, yeah, that's it. It's it's grand then. But yeah.
Yeah, no, spot on there, mate. Someone needs to take responsibility for the situation. Lack of funds, lack of ambition, lack of everything. Someone needs to change, and soon. Jones was a ghost. That's putting it mildly as well. Brian, if the game's fault, we'd be no depth, but the players are not playing their heart out. And Guy, breaking points, it's quickly right here. No issue with the 18-19-year-olds players learning in first team as long as they are suited to LFC style. 100% there, Maverick. For me, I don't see what Elliott, Carvalho, to me, do a Moneyball signings as well. Just quickly rattle through all these. Spider's absolutely starving. I'm starving. We're all starving. Starving for 3 points. That's what we are. That's what we want most importantly, mate. Yeah. Don't get me started on that anyway. We're not getting it on in January. But Spider, closing point from you, mate. Toothless Liverpool one.
Yeah, it is. If I can say anything about this side, is just that I have to be grateful for what they've done for us over, and the entertainment and the enjoyment they've given us over the last few seasons. This is not like an obituary, is what I'm saying. It's just we have to be realistic and say that we are in a transition, and it's a transition forced upon us through injury rather than just a generalized transition, because we would have been ready for that. We're supposed to be ready for that, as we say, with Elliott, Carvalho, Nunez coming in. These type of players, Bajcetic is the next layer, but they're the ones that are supposed to come after the next layer, if you get me. So Elliott's been fantastic for us this season. His passing game is getting a bit better from what I expect. He's always been really good in the ball, but his link-up play is getting a lot better. We've seen what Carvalho was capable of last season, but I cannot put my hands up and say there was anything to do with them today. because they were trying, but they just weren't getting the right service. They were making runs into the midfield. They weren't just receiving it. Our midfield is our biggest problem.
Non-existent.
If we just take our focus away from what's going on elsewhere, besides maybe right back and the midfield, then that's where our issues are. There is no issues going forward because they're not getting the service enough. They're not getting enough balls into the box. They're having to create their own space. They're having to do work much harder than what they should need to work in this Liverpool side. And that's the focus. The focus is we need a midfield reboot. We need a world-class right back to come in and either take over from Trent or move him into the park, because there has to be a place for Trent in this team. But at the moment, it's not in right back. And I mean, we need to replace the deadwood that's left over there. Thank you to Millie for being one of the probably our best ever free signing, besides maybe Matip and Gary Mack. And these ones from here have been fantastic, and we've always been astute when it comes to getting these type of signings. But now it's time. It's time to really reinvent ourselves, really invest in this team going forward. And it's really to show what FSG are made of, whether they want to be owners of this club and to love the club and protect the club going forward, or whether they just want to transition and make money off it. I that's all I want to see. I want to see it, and I want to see them step up and support Klopp, because Klopp is the most important thing to this team, to be honest with you. Besides any other player that's out there, Klopp, then Ali, then Salah. So that's what you're looking at, and support them, invest in them, and
Spot on, mate. As I said, it's the thing with the owners, that you know exactly what they're going to do, Spider and Shaq, don't we? They're going to, we'll have a big summer. We'll spend like 250 mil on players, and then it'll be, oh, Sam, we've give you that money. And then we'll have another 4-5 years of, we give you money. Be happy with what you've got given. And then after and that will probably jump out, climb back the quality as well, mate. Disappointing today, mate.
Yeah,
as I said, me and Spider were realists as well. We're not, and as we say, me and them are usually very positive, but you can't be positive at all on today's performance. Shocking, abysmal. But Reds, we'll get to Owen's comments as well. But hopefully, you all do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Liverpool yet again wrecking our weekend. Very rare that does happen, but we should have known anyway. Otherwise,
I can't even drink, Jack. To drown my sorrows,
otherwise we end up like Man United chanting with FSG. It's the thing, no fan of even the last couple of years, even when there has been grumblings, really, that no one's screaming from the hilltops, really. I think everyone's quite content in terms of the fans, and quite rightly so. But for me, if we do continue going in this, and I've called out the owners plenty of times over the last couple of years, and I've been one of the biggest supporters previous gone years, but last 12 months have been absolutely atrocious from the club, and especially from obviously the Super League, in which we had last season as well. It's quite embarrassing, really. Or was it 2 years ago when we had that? But they needed to have pulled their finger out, as Spider alluded to, 3-4 years ago, and invested. But we'll be going round in circles.
You have to realize, lads, we're not saying FSG out, get out of our clubs. We're not United fans, where they're giving money every season by fellas, and then they still wanted them out of the club. We're just asking for a bit of investment. We're asking for a bit of assurances. We're asking for a bit of
help,
less stress. Just a bit of coverage. Just do it, even if you don't do it for another 2 seasons after that. I'm not saying 5 seasons. Cover, just do what you did with Van Dijk and Alisson. But just do it in a bigger. We have the money there. We've been net positive for years now. If we go and we spend over what our net is, that's not going to be financial fair play issues, because we've already made that money back.
We generate so much.
Yeah, we generate so much money. Just go and spend it. Don't even take a cent out of the club yourselves, and just leave it. Leave it pay for itself for the next couple of years. Don't do anything else. Just do it. Just invest in the bloody club, and that's it. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, given our stands, spot on them is. Given our stands, we should not be in a transitional season. All agree with Maverick. We should not be, but it's what we are. It's where we are at the minute. News and Thiago walk away in disgust at the end of the game. We are becoming a Mickey Mouse outfit. Clueless rebuilding in the midfield. No way FSG give LFC suspend. And a great point by Brian, as always. Nice one for that Maverick as well. There's one thing Klopp doesn't need, and we said this today, me and Spider and chat, we've all said it. He doesn't need 500 million in 2 years, just a bit more support than he has.
Yeah.
We're not asking for world class, just 2 or 3 more world class players in those areas. And John, and I think a lot more people are turning on FSG. And for me, I've turned on FSG over the last 12 months, and they need to do something, because we all come into this season needing more quality. We didn't get it in the window. We're penny pinching round, getting Arthur on loan. It's Liverpool Football Club, Christ almighty. One of the biggest football clubs in world football, one of the biggest football clubs in England. And we're ran the way we have been run. So, chat, I'll let you go. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Spider, shout out, obviously, your socials, mate, and obviously if you're streaming this week.
Yeah, well, all this week I've been streaming. Oh, big again. All this week I've been streaming on YouTube for a change rather than Twitch. So you'll find me at Spider on YouTube. That's all the name is, but it's under the guise of Arctic Gaming if you find it ARTIK. So I'm doing a lot of Gotham nights on that at the moment. I'm just splitting up the streaming on different sites just to test it out. But most of the time you'll find me on Irish Spider Guy on Twitch, and I did a watch along today the same time as Jack, and I popped on at halftime. And I'll be doing another one again for Ajax, unless we're doing it together, Jack. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. And but if not, I'll be there on it to do it again. And I'll be sporting like the rest of you every week. And I'll be moaning and complaining like the rest of you every week. So lads, enjoy. Thanks for having me on, Jack. Cheers.
Always a pleasure, mate. Thank you for taking the time out tonight, mate. And if you haven't already, head over to Spider LFC as well. How many subscribers will be on now, mate? Get Spider to at least a K on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't tend to get too many. I've 4K nearly on Twitch, but I don't have.
Right, get everyone right, chat. If you haven't done it, subscribe to Spider as well.
Yeah, Brian, I do play Borderlands, dude. I do play anything like that. Just whoever comes into my chat and they're there when subscribers subscribe to me, they give me lists of games to play because it's their money that they're subscribing with. So it's their games as well as mine. So when people don't. I deal with a lot of people on the channel that were suicidal at one point and they come in just to talk. So that's what I used to find a lot on my channel. I haven't seen it the last 3 or 4 months because I took a break. So maybe they think I'm gone. But I did see it for a long time on it. So it's just a place for people to come and talk, hang out, have a beer, relax. And when they subscribe to me, that money goes to buy games that they can watch me play, and that's it. That's all it's for.
Yeah, that's the thing. You create this amazing community, mate. And that's why I created this community as well, YouTube. Just talking about Liverpool, win, lose, or draw. As you said, mate, it's a Liverpool or gaming as well as a massive part of different people. And I made up Spider. I've interacted with a lot more people as well that have come on, that have had me on their channel as well. We're all one community, looking after one another as well. But everyone, put your feet up, have a bevy, have a good week, rest of your weekends. Try not to think about Liverpool until Wednesday night. But Reds, you never walk alone. As I said, there's Spider's Twitch channel, so there you go, mate. Head over, subscribe to that, click on that link, and I'll take you direct. Nice one for that, Mark. But chat, Spider, we got Ajax on Wednesday. Should be fun. Amsterdam, cheeky trip to the Dam for the year.
We'll go over there and hammer them.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing. We lost the Forest today, and we'll go and hammer Ajax away. Yeah, it's just a weird one, man. It's just the way it is. We'll go and do that, and then we'll probably be at Leeds something like 2-1 or something next week.
I'm not looking forward to that Leeds game. Lord, But yeah, right, Reds, spot on. Spider, thank you once again for coming on, mate. And as always, Reds, you'll never walk alone. And come on, Liverpool.